Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Welcome to the day. Welcome to the vibe. Hello. Hi. How's it going? Is it going good? I don't know, the camera's not really centered. It's a Luke stream. Of course it's not centered. What why is anybody surprised? How's everybody doing? Everybody feeling good? Feeling lively. Apologies for the slight delay today. We had a handful of little things. YouTube wanted me to restart the stream because the resolution wasn't expected or something. I don't understand. Most of the time I have no idea what's happening. I'm just floating through life. Confused like a baby bird. Voila. Anyway, hi guys. Hi, how we doing? How we doing? Oh, okay. Let's all get ready to cringe. Yeah, we're gonna see how bad it is. It's literally taken 2 days for me to get this damn thing installed on PC. It's been a nightmare. The Windows Xbox launcher is laughably bad. Like, when you think of having to pay $15 a month for it for Game Pass Ultimate, that makes it like unacceptably bad, like horrible. So it's gonna be interesting. We do have a handful of little news tidbits too. I also want to look into the Jedi Survivor. Apparently the game director is the one that refused to delay the game again. EA was allegedly willing to, but they said like, nope, we're getting it out. Didn't turn out so good, right? Didn't turn out so good. Let's see, is that a little more comfy? Yeah, that works. Okay. Hello from Blighty. Blighty, isn't it? Hello. Update 6, my pet rock has went into isolation due to the horrible game releases this year. I get it. I understand it. Skill Up's video on Redfall is amazing. If you haven't seen it yet, Luke, I have not seen it. I don't tend to watch a lot of his reviews because usually we're playing the same games and I'm like, I'll just do my thing. He'll do his thing. Yeah, occasionally he has some interesting like preview stuff he goes to, which is pretty cool. Yeah, watch as Redfall doesn't launch. That would be hilarious. Having a good day, currently playing Cyberpunk. It's wild how different it is from any other CDPR game. Yeah, for real. But man, when it hits the spot. Pekin Valley, greetings from South Africa. Greetings! Cheers with a protein shake. Hello. Which is worse, Redfall or Forespoken? Forespoken wasn't this broken, but Forespoken was cringier. So they're just different. Like, I think Redfall after patches, for some people, could get to a 7 out of 10. I think some people will enjoy it once it's fixed. Forespoken, I don't know who enjoys that game, even if it's working perfectly. I'm gonna just keep it 100. I don't know about all that. Sounds like game director drew the short stick and is the scapegoat. I think, like, we'll read the article. It just sounds like the game director was frustrated that they had delayed it a bunch. And I'm sure he's getting pressure from execs and from the higher ups who are like, get the game out, dude. Figure it out. And so they're like, okay, we'll get the game out. And the thing is, it's still going to sell gangbusters. Like, I don't know if they'll release sales numbers, but I would not be shocked at all if Jedi Survivor is already over like 5 million copies. Almost everybody I know is playing it. And they're like, yeah, it sucks ass, but it's really fun and it's awesome. You know. Tom, hey Luke, loved your video on Jedi Survivor. Let me know to hold off for a bit. Well, yeah. It's just, there's no harm in waiting a little bit. No harm. There aren't really any games coming this year that I'm interested in, and all the bad releases make it worse. Tier, yeah, I feel that. I mean, I think Tears of the Kingdom will be good. I think Starfield, I mean, this is not a hot take. I think Starfield is going to be a buggy, broken mess at launch. And I don't think that's because Xbox is rushing it. I think it's just because Bethesda literally doesn't know how to make like refined, polished games. By the way, everybody like this stream. That does help. We got 32 likes, 250 people in here already. We can get them likes up. We can do this. I believe in us. I believe in us. Caleb sent me last night. He sent me a video of Adam Lambert singing The Muffin Man to the music of Do You Believe in Love. Is a little, I don't know. It was a little disorienting. I wasn't ready for it. Do you know the Muffin Man? Like, it wasn't bad, but I don't know. It's been stuck in my head. Thanks a lot, Caleb. Thanks a lot. 100% Starfield's gonna be rough. Yeah, you know what? We can dream. People can wish upon a star, but like even their last polished game, Fallout 4, was not that refined. Like it still had some pretty horrifying stuff going on. Remember these old school Game Ranks videos? Like it still had problems, like a lot of them. I remember back in the day playing this. It was like the first PC game. I remember I asked my mom to help me buy. Oh, seizure warning! My God. I asked my mom to help me buy a gaming PC. I had like saved up 80% of the money, but I needed to like the rest of the 20% covered. So she lent it to me and I paid her back. Well, that's a good one. I paid her back out like, cause I was working as a janitor at the time. But I got my first ever gaming PC set up and I installed everything. I was so excited. I played Fallout 4 on launch night and it was so buggy and broken and performance was so terrible. I couldn't play it. I just couldn't. It was painful. And so like it permanently scarred me. Just panicking. I've seen some people in the pool at Waterworld kind of like this. They go in the wave pool thinking it's going to be fun, and then the waves start coming and they're like, oh my God. Oh man. But like, this is what every Bethesda game launch is like, okay? What makes you think that Starfield is going to magically be different? Like, come on. And again, I don't think it's because they're rushing. I just think Bethesda physically doesn't have enough QA staff to test it enough to refine it. And if they announced, hey, we just bought like a second studio, they have like 300-400 employees and they're only going to be doing QA. All they do is they're just going to be looking for bugs and refinements and stuff. And if they said that, I'd be more comfortable saying, okay, there's a chance this is actually polished. But I just don't see that happening. You have to remember Bethesda and some of these Ubisoft and some of these companies that, you know, they still launch buggy stuff, but they at least try, I think, a little harder to get rid of the bugs. They have thousands of people working on these games, testing bugs, and that's really disturbing. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I do not in any way, shape, or form believe that magically Starfield is going to be the first game that launches polished. Like, come on. Microsoft is in big trouble. I don't think Microsoft is. I think Xbox is. Because right now, especially after Redfall, there's a level of frustration that is palpable. You know, say what you will about Redfall, I mean, a lot of people didn't think Redfall was going to be very good. A lot of people were pretty confident that something was off with this game. However, I do think that there's still a lot of frustration. Like, people are just pissed that they've been waiting at this point 2.5 going on 3 years for big, polished, Game of the Year contender Xbox games. And they've gotten Hi-Fi Rush, but that was niche. And beyond that, like, what else have they really had? Even like Halo Infinite, which was huge. That was supposed to be their magnum opus launch title. That thing came out and was like, yeah, it's pretty good. And then everybody forgot about it because they basically gave up on the multiplayer. And that's just amazing. Joaquin, thank you for 3 months. Good day, everyone. Good day, my friend. Thank you so much. So, worst time to be an Xbot. Yeah, Steffi, I think you're right. It's just, it's really hard to defend with a straight face time, like multiple releases that are just not where they need to be. And even like Phil Spencer on Twitter is like, yeah, this isn't where it needs to be. We got to do better. And that, I mean, what can he say? It's not where it needs to be. Andre, 7 months. My goodness. Thank you so much. 7 months. If the car industry was run the way the game industry is, we all be dead by now. I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah, actually, funnily enough, Ford has kind of been doing a very similar thing. So Ford, the American car company, they have been approaching stuff very similarly to how game developers do. And it's not good. Like, Ford had to recall earlier this year in March 1.5 million vehicles over problems with brake hoses and windshield wipers. Just imagine how many cars that is. Imagine them like parked, lined up. 1.3 million vehicles across the US because of safety concerns with brake hoses, and 220,000 F-150 pickups due to faulty windshield wiper arms. And this is just one round. They've had to do this time and time again. Ford estimates that 1.28 million vehicles are involved in the recall and that 2% of those have the brake hose defect. It says it's aware of one crash. Warning signs include a change to the brake pedal feel and travel. It's a little concerning. But Ford famously in the last few years has started rushing stuff out, just getting cars out the door, and quality has plummeted. That's why their stock isn't doing too hot. So it's funny you bring up the, if car companies ran their business the way game companies do, they'd be in trouble, and they are. At least, Ford isn't releasing cars that just don't work. Like, do you guys remember again, it was Ford again. Are you noticing a pattern? Do you guys remember the Ford Pinto? You might not remember it. I don't remember it, but I talked about this, we talked about it in business school and everything. This was the Ford Pinto, and it was a car that was very small form factor, a nice commuter car. But what they did is they put the gas tank in the back of the car. It's right here near the trunk. And if it was ever rear-ended and a spark went off, or if the fuel squirted out into the engine of the car that rear-ended them, it would just burst into flames. And the whole car was produced from 71 to 80. Right before the standard was to have fire resistant everything. So even the cushions in the seats were extremely flammable. So people would get in car accidents and then the whole car would just light on fire instantly. So, some car companies have had this problem and they have cut the corners. The difference is the vehicle industry, at least in the States, has become super regulated. So that example we just looked at of the recalls for all those Ford vehicles, they're aware of one crash and they're recalling 1.3 million cars to check all of them. Whereas in the video game industry, and to be clear, they're doing that because the FTC, I think, is the one that forced them to. The video game industry doesn't have regulators. They don't have anybody like that. And this is the kind of pro and con, because we don't have regulators, which I think is probably a good thing. but it's a good thing because it allows artists to retain their creative freedom. And if we got, I mean, do you really want like the government involved in your hobby? Probably not. Like, probably not. Because it limits what can be done. Like, even something as stupid as, sticking with the car examples, I know some people hate this. I think it looks cool. But the Cybertruck, they originally revealed it, no windshield or no side view mirrors, right? They originally showed it off and there's no mirrors on the sides. And they said, we don't need them because we can have cameras that see all around the car hidden in the molding and stuff. And we can just put that on screen. There's no need to have a physical mirror anymore. It operates fine. It's whatever. But regulators in the US will not allow this car on the road without side view mirrors. So they have to put them on, even though it like apparently greatly reduces the aerodynamic efficiency and can take off like 30 miles of charge. It's insane. But that's an example of like regulators putting that in there to make sure that car manufacturers have certain safety standards they meet, but it does limit the creativity involved in it. I think in general, it's probably a good thing in the car industry because you don't want people experimenting super hard on vehicles that could kill you if something goes wrong. Whereas in like video games, like, oh no, the game's buggy. You know, it's literally not a life and death moment, so it's not that big of a deal. But people have said, like, how do we fix all of these companies from releasing buggy stuff? You want the easy answer? The easy answer is you regulate the shit out of it, and you could do that. I don't think you'd want to. I think that sounds like a terrible idea. But even with the loot box stuff, people were saying, oh, well, just get the government to come in and regulate the loot boxes. It's like, do you want that? I don't know. Hate to burst your bubble, dude. That thing doesn't have aerodynamics to begin with. You're telling me that driving a cube is not aerodynamic? What? Do you hear yourself? Oh god. I'm hoping Armored Core will have some Omega boost elements. Fantastic game from PS1 era with Static X doing the soundtrack. Oh, interesting. I have no idea. That all, you could have just been describing different types of spaghetti and I would have had no idea. That was all foreign to me. I feel for Xbox fans truly. As primarily Nintendo and JRPG fan, I've been fortunate to eat good the last couple of years. I hope things get better. I mean, I feel for them too. It's tough. Like even in that video that we just did on Redfall, I said, I can't get the game to install on PC. So I'm going to play on my Series S that I've sitting in the corner and that has been collecting dust. And I had some people that said, you know, they came in and they're like, oh, clearly this is an unbiased review. Got it, Luke. Dislike. And I was like, I understand that comes off as me being like super negative, but it's simply the truth. There hasn't been anything for me to play on it. Like, I would like to, but it's the same with the Switch. Like, there hasn't been anything for me to play on the Switch for years. So what do you want me to say? Like, yeah, I open it up and I play something on it just cause every once in a while. Like, what? I don't know. Surely it's more aerodynamic than the Nissan Cube. Oh, is that the big boxy thing? Oh yeah, dude, these. Does anyone in chat drive one of these? Or have you driven one of these? The thing that always sent my OCD flying was this bizarre like window that is not symmetrical. It like breaks my brain. Lazy hair day, Lucas, are not worth the pomade. Mr. K, thank you for the $1.99. And I guess not. I mean, I was just I'm fried today, man. I'm fried. Oh. Man, yeah, these things were funny. Yeah, classic. Devs circa mid 2000s, it's tough to port to consoles. They're less flexible and underpowered. Devs now, it's tough to do a PC port. There are too many combinations. I need to talk to like an actual graphics engineer or something. If anybody knows of anybody like on Twitter or anything that specifically works in the graphics department or specifically works in QA, I would love to chat with them on stream and just have a conversation and be like, okay, real talk. Is it actually like this problem with combinations? Are you actually like replacing stuff constantly? Are you actually swapping between configurations to see what works and what doesn't? Are you like, what is true and what is not true? Because my understanding from what I've read is that a lot of the engines will tackle configurations themselves. My understanding, and we can watch the Digital Foundry thing on Jedi Survivor here in a little bit. But my understanding is that shader compilation, for the most part, takes care of a lot of the issues with configurations. What we're seeing with like Jedi Survivor and with Redfall are not issues with taking account of combinations of hardware. It's specifically unoptimized code, or it's specifically in the case of Redfall, what looks to have happened is that in Unreal Engine 4 and 5, there are basically like blueprints of code that you can generate and that you can use for kind of like streamlining the process. So you have like this blueprint of code that's used for the XP system, and you can use those to quickly like drag and drop stuff in for quick development. But the problem is, as you get closer to launch, you are starting to realize, as you crank all the fidelity dials and everything, and you start shooting for 60 frames, you start to realize, hey, this code's really inefficient. So towards the end of development, those guys, the programmers, will go back in and they'll try to rewrite that code that was used in the blueprint system, and they'll try to rewrite it to work natively within the engine in real time way more efficiently. And yeah, like that sort of works sometimes, but a lot of the time when you write code at the last minute, there's going to be hiccups, there's going to be issues that take time to iron out. And what seems to have happened with Redfall is that they started to do that. They started to swap it out, and they just ran into optimization issues, but they were too close to launch at that point. So I don't know if that's a production error. I don't know if that's an issue with like poor management or poor directing to not schedule this stuff out properly, to have time to refine it. Who knows? But I don't know. My understanding is that this is not like the Redfall stuff and the Star Wars Jedi stuff. These are not issues with configurations. These are issues with like the actual code and the actual game itself. It's not, oh, we didn't take into consideration an i9 whatever with a 4090. If we had only thought of that combination, we could have polished it. No, that's BS. That's not how that works. Aren't games made on PCs though, like the source game? They're built, like if you're building on Unreal Engine. Do I have it installed? I could show you. I don't actually know if I still have it installed. I just installed an NVMe SSD on my, oh no, it's not installed. Damn it. I'll install it. Maybe we'll do that next stream. Maybe we'll do that. But yeah, it's Unreal Engine 5.2. I'll install it for next stream. But how it normally works is like you'll be in the engine and you can basically go in and you can have this, it's almost like a PS5 or an Xbox within your PC, if that makes sense. So you're simulating the consoles. So you can do that. And then when you're in like the editor, you're just running it off of your PC in real time. But once you get to the point in game development where you're actually testing the build, you're probably testing it on like a dev kit where you're actually moving the game to a dev kit PS5 or Xbox or whatever to test it on that hardware separate from the PC. That's my understanding. Derek, I've worked in game dev QA. Can't confirm working with PC is genuinely harder than console. Well, I mean, I understand. I'm sure it's way harder because it's just more variable. Whereas, you know, on PlayStation, you have PS5 right now. On Xbox, you have Series S and Series X. It's probably harder to work on Xbox than PlayStation right now. And it's probably harder to work on PC than Xbox. I buy all of that. The question I have is just whether or not this excuse of there's so many more variations is really what it comes down to. Because everybody agrees developing for PC is probably more difficult. But what some of these like devs on Twitter are trying to say is that the reason they can't polish before launch because they just don't have the ability to test all these different variations. Is it really just a matter of testing the variations, or is it inefficient code that they've just tossed together because the PlayStation or because the PC version is not a priority? Luke, did you see Verizon's new deal to get the Series S? Yeah, Verizon has all sorts of weird BS, dude. I don't know what that deal's like, but like I went into Verizon to try and upgrade my phone like a year and a half, 2 years ago, or it was this phone. And I went in there and they're like, yeah, so we'll trade in your phone and we'll give you $800 for it. I was like, wow, $800 for a trading credit for a year-old phone? That's awesome. And then they're like, get down to the nitty-gritty. And I said, so to be clear, like this is reflected on the statement. This is an actual $800 credit. They're like, yeah. So I get the phone, I leave, and I check the statement. It's not reflected. It only like $30 is. It's like, what? And then I did some calling. I called the corporate line and they're like, yeah, so it's an $800 credit split up over 3 years. And if you upgrade at any time within that 3-year period, you forfeit the rest of that trading credit. What? Like, how is that not just stealing money from you? Like, how does that make any sense at all? I trade this phone in for this one. They give me $800 for this, but they're going to split it up over 3 years. So I need to keep this phone for 3 years to get the full $800. And if at any point in that 3 years this breaks or I trade it or I get a new phone, I lose the remainder of that $800 credit. I was stunned. Like, stunned. So I went back into the Verizon store. I was like, yeah, you guys are returning this. This is insane. I don't know. And I told the manager, the lady that helped me initially was not working that day, but I just told the manager, I was like, you got to talk to your team, dude. Like, there are people that are going to get scammed out of hundreds of dollars with this policy because it's not being clearly explained. You got to at least explain to your team what's going, because especially if somebody comes in here and does like a secret shopper or something and they film you, you get sued out the ass because you're misrepresenting what the offer is. But anyway, that was a whole thing. Felt my blood pressure rising just thinking about it. Derek, there's more processes for writing, researching bugs on PC. Variation for PC builds is certainly a thing, but in my experience, it takes longer for PC bugs to get fully fixed. Interesting. I mean, so much of this, I just think like, it totally makes sense that something like build variability would cause things to be more complicated, right? I totally get that, but
Zach Miklas super chatted $10. The only
Zach,
thing
thank
I'm
you.
looking forward to from Xbox is Forza Motorsport. I'm excited to see what Turn 10 can do with the new hardware. Will you play it?
I'll probably try it. Thank you for the 10, by the way. And yeah, I mean, that seems to be one franchise that they are able to hit out of the park. And I don't know if that's the developers. I don't know what that is, but that allows them to hit it out of the park. But yeah, I totally agree. So did you get the new phone or not? No, I returned that. I walked out of there. And then like, you know, however much time passed after that, I just bought the iPhone out of pocket. I don't finance my phones. I don't do any of that stuff. Because what I found also is that like I buy this phone, a new iPhone, I can buy it for cash. I save up and I pay it outright. Once I own this outright, next year I can trade it in and depending on like if I trade in at Best Buy or wherever, I can get $800 for this. So I effectively paid like $300 or $200 for the year for the phone to have the latest and greatest newest phone. Which when you break that up, it's still way cheaper than if you just financed your phone over 2 years. So it just makes way more sense to just buy it outright. So that's what I do now. That's what I do now. I'm so hyped to watch you play Gollum, the precious stream. Dude, for real. I'm kind of low-key excited for that. Why am I excited? I think because I know it's probably going to be pretty bad, but yeah, I'm pretty pumped for that. Maybe you have different release dates for different configs. Like Hogwarts, maybe that's the play. I mean, there's no way you can break it down where it doesn't just come down to PC is not a priority for these developers. And that's why I would love to know like sales breakdowns. How many, what's the percentage of units sold for like Jedi Survivor on PC versus console? Because maybe it is that it's only like 3% of total sales are on PC. Maybe that's what it is. I mean, I can't imagine it's that low, but they act like it's that low. They put very little effort into the PC port. Lincoln, thank you. Lincoln Highway. I've driven on the Lincoln Highway. Been there, done that. Thank you, Lincoln. Appreciate you. Welcome. We got to do a members only stream. We got to do that. What should we do? What should we play? I've been playing Fortnite with Nikki at night, actually. That's been low-key kind of fun. That's actually been pretty fun. No build Fortnite, to be clear. But no build Fortnite, not bad. It's quite refreshing after dealing with like the insanity of Apex Legends and their terrible server infrastructure right now. It's just bad. Like their servers are just terrible. But, and then Warzone is just toxic. But like Fortnite no build is actually pretty fun. I'll be real. Chrono Odyssey. I have it pulled up actually. I have no idea what it is. We're gonna check it out. Good morrow to you, Kansa. Great to catch another stream when it's once again actually live. Yes, Count Tabula. As of right now, I don't think I've ever broadcast like a fake live stream or like a video as a live stream. I've heard that's a thing. I don't know why you would do that. But yeah, no, we like it. We do it. And you guys might have noticed, I don't know what the quality is like, but we are broadcasting in AV1, a brand new codec. Brand new codec. We had to get one of these bad boys to do it, because this bad boy that I'm returning was buggy as hell and they couldn't get drivers working. But what that means is that we can stream in 4K 60. 4K 60 real time with stupid low bit rates. Like this bit rate we're using right now on the other encoder on like a GTX 1070, which is what we had before. This bit rate would probably run 1080p 60 pretty well. But on AV1, we can do 4 times the resolution and it just works. It's crazy. So if you are watching on like a TV or a big screen, try swapping it to 4K in the little gear menu and let me know what you think of the quality, if it looks good. I don't know. Let's see. I think Fortnite have some Star Wars skins. Yeah, they just updated it like yesterday or the day before. The game has like lightsabers now. It's stupid. Caleb really likes using them. Did you see Xbox talking about Starfield Direct today to change the conversation? Yeah, they pivoted quick. And I don't blame them. I'd be pivoting super quick. Yeah, you see this? Mark your calendars for June 11th. The Xbox Game Showcase and Starfield Direct feature kicks off at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. See what's coming to Xbox PC and cloud gaming. Already pivoted. I mean, they would love to be hyping up Redfall, like sending out tweets and stuff about how great, how great it is. But man, they're just not there. Steffi, thank you. 3 months. Nice. 16 times the bit rate.
16 times the detail.
If I was paid £4 million to play Redfall, I would ask for 40 million. Oh man. Oily rifle cartridges, what a name. Thank you, glad to have you. Welcome. I like the frames of your glasses. They remind me of Riddler's from the Batman. Oh, interesting. Yeah, these are my stream glasses because they have like blue light filtering in them. These are the glasses I got. Can you tell Lockie got his hands on them? He took them out of the case because they're all like scuzzed up. But these are the ones I got at the eye doctor. And they're like, these are Armani glasses. Giorgio Armani glasses, what they say on the side. And they are like kind of a total piece of crap. What a joke. Like painful. If insurance didn't cover these, I'd be livid. Like absolutely livid. Because I think these things are like $400 or $500 is what they charge. Insurance covers it. So if you have insurance for like eyewear, you don't pay out of pocket. But these things are like laughably cheap. This could probably cost them like $3 to make. It's insane. And then those ones I have that have the like partial black frame and then the clear underside, those are Moscot glasses from New York City, which is the same place that Jeff Goldblum gets all of his glasses and Johnny Depp. I actually got them after watching the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial because I was like, I really like Johnny's glasses that he wears all the time. And this is where he gets the glasses. This is the place. And this is where Jeff Goldblum gets all of his glasses. It's like 100+ year old company. That you can see there. And honestly, the glasses are cheaper than the ones you'd buy inside the eyewear place. So it just made sense. Get good glasses for cheaper than I'd buy in like Pearl Vision, Loveland, Colorado. Yeah, I'll just do that. Let's see. Redfall somehow looks worse than Dishonored 2 7 years later. I would just love to see what problem, like what went on that caused it to get like this. Because it really is bad. It's real bad. Something went wrong. Something clearly did not go as planned. I just would love to know what that was. I don't know. We'll see. Zenny Optical. These are Zennies. Yeah, these are Zennies. So like this one, I have like a pair of reading glasses upstairs next to bed. Those are Zennies. Yeah, Zennies are really good, cheap, affordable glasses. I think these are like $30 or something. Like with my prescription and everything, $30. Not sponsored. Just saying, $30. Come on. And then also not sponsored, but if you want some like fancy, stupid high quality glasses that are built stupid well, these Moscot are just crazy nice. There's a reason they've been open for like 130 years or whatever. But I'm in Loveland, Colorado. Oh, sweet Swanky. I'm over in Loveland all the time. Lived in Loveland until like 2 years ago. Yeah, love Loveland. I love Loveland. The state of Redfall reminds me of Krabby Cat's video on Back for Blood. It's just, I'm waiting for the Krabby Cat video on Redfall. It's just a mess. I mean, there is an interesting, I guess we could shift into this. Jacob, live stream clip. There we go. That's how I let him know. So funnily enough, there's been some interesting news and like theories and updates and stuff about what exactly went on with Redfall. And apparently some journalists are saying that they've heard some rumors. There was a French retailer that said that they had heard some stuff. And then this was corroborated by Jeff Grubb. My understanding is that Jeff said that he's heard this from somebody else. So there's some interesting tidbits. There's some interesting stuff going on about Redfall. And I'm going to play you a clip from Jeff Grubb's podcast. Last of the Nintendogs 95, episode 95. And I'm going to show you what they said that I think could explain Redfall. It's not super thrilling and it's not what you would hope to hear, but it I mean, it's interesting. Thanks for the advice. Do you have any promo code for the Moscow? Sure don't. I would love to. It's like the Bo Burnham thing where he does the whole bit about the flaming hot Cheetos. They're like regular Cheetos, but they're flaming hot. Normal Cheetos are for pussies. You know, that whole thing. Then he's like, yeah, I'm not sponsored by Flaming Hot Cheetos. I'm just trying to get them to sponsor me. That's me with Moscow. I would love for them to sponsor me so that I could just have free glasses. But I don't think they even sponsor like celebrities. Even Johnny Depp is paying for his glasses from there because they don't need to. Like I'm not being paid and I just like the glasses. I'm just telling you I like the glasses. And so they're like, yeah, why would we pay you to just say what you're going to do anyways, you know? I Rush Always. Good to see you. Big fan of the vid. Subbed to your line channel or live channel now. Always great when zoning out and having them on in the background. Appreciate you, my friend. I'm glad. Hopefully my droning helps you drone and zone. Cheers. His name is Krabby Cat. Well, it's Crow B Cat. So some people say Crobe Cat. Some people say Crow B Cat. Some people say Crowb Cat. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. Fun fact, Pearl Vision, LensCrafters, Sunglasses Hut, Target Optical, and others are all the same company. The parent company partners with all fashion brands. They have their own insurance too. Shocker. Shocker. Jesus. Oh, man. That's why I like going to these independent shops. I just find to be a better fit. I say crowbar feline. Oh, I like that. That works. Okay, let's look at this. Okay. So this was in the context. They started talking about Redfall, mentioning it, blah, blah, blah. If you don't know what this is, basically Jeff Grubb, hold on, collapse that. Jeff Grubb, this fellow right here, is a well-known insider in the industry. He's got a lot of contacts in the gaming space, pretty well-known, and people... I mean, he's got a lot of credibility. He's not just making stuff up, basically. And they're talking right now about Redfall and the stuff that went on.
Ongoing theory is that this game started before Microsoft took over, and when Microsoft saw it, they didn't believe in it, and so they never supported it. Then just cancel it. Just fucking cancel it. What are you doing?
Right.
You have the power to make that move. If you're not going to give one of your first-party games the support it needs, then just cancel it. This is worse than no game at all, in my opinion.
I would agree. The interesting thing is that one of the things that's been going around online is that apparently Arcane started on Redfall roughly, I think it was 2017, 18, somewhere in there. And so it was already in development when Microsoft took them over. Because when did they officially ZeniMax merger complete? ZeniMax merger closed March 9th of 2021. So Redfall was already pretty far along, and I think Redfall, I don't know when they announced it. When did they announce it? 2021? June 13th of 2021. So if the deal closed in March of 21 and then they announced it in June of 21, that's interesting. Because basically what's being theorized here is that, or suggested or speculated upon here, is that Microsoft never believed in Redfall. They saw this and were just like, this sucks, guys. this sucks. And instead of canceling it, they were like, let's just keep it as an exclusive in case maybe it turns out good. And they decided to just toss it out, and I hope that it turns into something. But apparently they never got the support that they were really hoping for. They never got what they really, really needed, which is interesting. I don't know if that's confirmed. I don't know if that's true. Who can say?
Like, okay, I don't hate this game. It is a bad
It's okay. I hate it for you.
game, though. It is a bad game. It is weirdly bad. And it's like, what are people who are paying $15 a month for Game Pass Ultimate supposed to think about this as one of your first big offerings in a very long time? I'd begin losing faith.
And that's where I'm at. Like, you guys know me. I don't love bashing Xbox. I don't love bashing PlayStation. I would love to have more games that are good that I enjoy. Which apparently is a surprising thing to say. People are like, what, you want games to be good? Yeah, because I'm a gamer and I want to play games that I like. Shocker. But like I said, have had to try over 2 days to install Redfall. It's so busted. The Xbox launcher is such a joke that it's taken 2 days just to get this damn thing installed. 2 days. When it should be, boop, click Game Pass. Oh, I want to play Redfall. Click, and then install. But what would happen is you'd hit install, you'd go to the queue, it would go, and it would just say preparing, or it would say processing, or it would say prepare, whatever it was. I don't know. And it would just never, ever launch. It would never start downloading, and then you'd have to clear it, delete the download, try again. Or what happened, I wonder if I still actually have, do I still have this? Because I tried to record that Redfall video a couple of times. And that Redfall video, I did like 45 minutes recorded. Yeah, look at this. So I had it installed. You guys are seeing behind the scenes. This is me recording the video for Jacob. Okay? Stop streaming, it'll go faster. No, I'm talking about 2 days ago. The thing is installed already. It's done. Like right there, you see. So I was not streaming while trying to download this. So like, look, you see it says installed. Redfall just installed. I hit play. Watch what happens when I hit play. This is like 2 days ago, okay? Checking for updates. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to play it. We're going to do the video. Needs an update. Needs an update. It just downloaded. I was so confused. And what proceeds to happen is it sits here for a while. I record for another like 20 minutes and it just doesn't do anything. And then I'm like, okay, something weird is going on. So I stop the recording and I start looking around at it. And it, and I'm not joking, it uninstalled itself. The game was downloaded. It downloaded just under 100 gigs. And then it uninstalled itself while trying to update with the first launch. I've never in my life seen that happen with a game. Like, never in my life. So who knows? Maybe we're going to hit play. I haven't dared to hit play again, but I swear to God, I mean, if it happens live again, it's going to be really, really freaking funny. But it's so laughably horrible that you can't even launch the game. Like, the PC doesn't want to run this thing. Not even the computer wants to be pained with carrying this on its processors and transistors. Like, that's pretty terrible. But like, let's actually test it. Let's see. Okay. Say hi to yourselves. Say hi. On Steam. So you notice in the video, Ham, that I posted yesterday, I had to play it on Steam. So I had to go on Steam, buy it on Steam, and go in and like launch it from there, because Steam just downloads it, boom, done. Whereas, like, you know, on Game Pass, you can't even play it. So let's see if it actually launches, okay? Hit play. Okay. Good sign. It's a good sign. Syncing data. Okay, that's good. I think we're going to actually get in. I think it's going to work. Yeah, allow access. Whatever. Do your worst. Okay, looks like it's actually going to boot. There we go. There we go. Let's see how this goes. Unreal Engine. So this is Unreal. The Jedi Survivor game was Unreal Engine 4. As is this. Hogwarts Legacy was Unreal Engine 4. Like, everything that launches in Unreal Engine has been just a disaster. See the weird flickering? You gotta love the weird flickering. And all the texture popping. What groovy sound. Yeah. Down with the patriarchy. Oh my god, you guys know how I feel about Fade to Blacks. Oh my god. It's like every little thing in this game is trying to torture me too. Weird. I don't know what this is. I hate to be that guy. This is not how shadows work. Oh, wait. There we go. Oh. It's frozen. Apparently hitting Alt R was too much. Well, huh. Well, apparently pulling up the NVIDIA overlay was too much for it to handle. So I guess, where is the game even? Redfall. I guess let's try again. Oh no, Fiesta's mad. Fiesta's big mad. Hogwarts launched, I would say, buggy. This is broken. I don't know how you even with a straight face compare this to Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy had some load times, yeah. Some weird circle load times that would happen. But like this, we can't even play. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you doing, dude? You realize you're making yourself look incredibly stupid. Okay. Okay, let's try getting the overlay on before we go in. Video, I'm gonna go windowed full screen. Upscaling, I'm gonna set it to quality. And field of view we're gonna make wider. Generic of the game, sheesh. Guillermo, thank you for the 220. And yeah, I'm feeling that. Yes, keep it. This reminds me of Cyberpunk. Let's see. It's super fun and I'm addicted and everyone hates it. I mean, I think this is one of those 7 out of 10 games. I think you can have fun with it. But it's not going to win any awards. It's not going to do anything like that. The biggest problem is that it's just a broken pile of garbage. Like, those reflections look good. The textures, once they load in, are good. But it's just, I mean, it's not going to be groundbreaking or really blow anyone away. Okay, let's try this again. But like you can see, moments where it's working, we're getting 240 FPS. That's awesome. Way better than Jedi Survivor. Jedi Survivor can't even break 60 or 70 on a 4090, which is what this PC is. So like when it's working pretty well. I still would say it doesn't look very good. There's like a lot of pop-in and stuff. And that's what a lot of people are complaining about. But the biggest thing is going to be like frame drop. So if I pin this here, watch the frame graph. This should be steady. Like the graph should be flat, but you're seeing it bounce all over the place, which a little variation's fine. That's why we have variable refresh rate monitors. That's okay. However, it should not be going from like, we just had 240 down to 120. If I turn around this way, it goes back up to 200. I turn around, look at the gas, and it drops down to 120. You know? It's a little rough. It's a little rough. Are you IGN? 7 out of 10? To be clear, 7 out of 10 after many, many patches. Some people could enjoy this, I think. It's not my kind of game, but I don't like 4-player co-op looter shooters. They're just not my typical kind of game. But dude, look at that graph. Look at all these bizarre drops. What if I walk backwards towards the gas? Okay, so like right here, looking at this gas, we're at like 150. What if I look this way? 135. Okay, what if I walk backwards? I was hoping you'd have like that CSGO or CS2 smoke deformation, but it doesn't. This game is a game. Like the map is interesting. I'll give them that. Like it seems like they've done some decent designing on the city, but there's just not much here. Like it's just so empty. The Hollow Man is watching, and life for safety. One life for safety. There's a vampire. A vampire is over there. Sup, dude? Dude, oh, it's so choppy. Am I still on the harder difficulty?
This screw everything.
Yeah, I'm on the hardest difficulty. And you saw how easy that was? I'm on the hardest difficulty. Okay, let's see if it gets any harder in here. Let's see if I can if I can force myself to lose. Oh, this is where Abby and Ellie had their fight. Dude, the sound is doing something weird though. I don't know if that's intentional or not. Is there really nothing in here? I can go up the ladder over there, but... Hello, vampire! Mr. Vampire! What does this game run like natively? Not the worst I've ever seen. I don't think there's any anti-aliasing turn on. Embarked on the Yakuza Like a Dragon series yet? I have not. I know I've been saying this forever. I have it installed. Oh, it turned itself back on. Did I not hit? Okay, I don't know what's happening. Let's go performance. Oh, but this looks significantly worse. Hopefully, being able to stream in 4K, you can see just how grainy this becomes. Like, look at that. What was that? Like, I'm trying to find things to fight and do, but there's just nothing. Like, what am I to do?
Just like track and field.
What am I to do? Okay, there's something. Oh, he's down.
What the hell is that? That's not what Give me a chance. Not so fast. Get away.
Okay, this is a whole lot of useless. Oh, there's a drop.
Where are you coming from?
Ooh. I didn't realize they were also shooting at me. Okay, I died once. They got me. They did it. They did it. This makes Deathloop look like a 10 out of 10. At least Deathloop was like kind of coherent. This game though, my biggest issue with it is just that the idea itself isn't that interesting. Like, I'm just not that into the idea to begin with. Like, if you had told me what this was supposed to be years ago, and like you were asking me to invest in it, I wouldn't. Like, I've always wondered, I think there was a program or a system for this back in the day. I don't remember what it was called. It was like Fig, I think is what it was called. But it was basically like a crowdsourced investor platform for certain things. So you could, like, if we wanted to make a video game, like say I wanted to make a video game, and I was like, okay, guys, I need investments to be able to hire people and to get the studio going. But I don't have the money. If you pitch in like $100,
How do I get this dust out of my clothes?
that was so funny. If you gave me like $100, you'd own $100 worth of the project. And then if that's say 1%, I mean, it would be a lot less than that, but like, let's say that's 1% of the total investments of the game. Then if the game breaks even, you would in theory get your $100 back. And then if it makes a profit, you would get a profit commensurate with what you put in. So it's kind of like a crowd-funded investment platform. That's at least what I remember Fig being back when they announced it back in the day. And I've always wondered, like, if they did that with some of these big games, it would be really interesting to see like YouTubers and streamers, especially people like me, who claim to be able to figure out what's going to make a good game and what won't. It'd be really interesting to see who gets the best picks and who thinks like, yeah, I'm going to put $1,000 on this game because I think there's reason to believe that It Takes Two is going to be successful, so I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and then they put their money up for it, right? Or with this, I don't think this is going to be good, so I'm going to not invest, or I'll even short the game. I think that'd be super interesting. Is there like, I know there might be gambling stuff like that. Are there like gambling sites that do that where you bet on how, like, I think this game gets above an 80. Like, there's so many gambling websites nowadays. I would imagine there's something like that, like a place where you put kind of like betting odds. You bet that it's above us in like an 80 Metacritic or below 80. There's got to be something like that. Because at that point, I don't think that's just speculation like regular gambling for like cards or slots. Like, that's at least sort of speculative investing, you know? Could be interesting. Man, Cyberpunk could have been great, but it was shoved out the door before its time and can never be fixed. Yeah, I mean, it's just... It is a little... Not a little. It's a lot sad. Oh, hey, dude. Okay, let's test the AI. Can I go in this mansion and just see what we're dealing with? Or can I not go in here? All the doors are locked. I can't stand when games do this. They just put kayaks and stuff in front of the door. As if that's just, oh, can't go in there, I guess. There's a 20-pound plastic thing in front of the door. Can I go in here? No. Like, I just want to go fight stuff, but I'm struggling finding it. I guess I could go back to where those guys were that killed me.
What have we here? I see.
I don't know, man. It's just so mindless. Like, I'm going around trying to find things to fight, and I'm like actively struggling to find vampires. And when you do find them, it's like a few shotgun shells and they're dead. And like, this is starter equipment. This is like the starter guns and stuff. I can't imagine what it gets like later in the game. $200 on Tears of the Kingdom being amazing. Any takers? Define amazing. Like, are we saying above a 97 Metacritic? That's interesting. Or are you saying like above a 90? Because I think above a 90, your odds are going to mean like, you know, it's 1,000 to 1.
I'm going to rip.
Oh. Gun feels pretty solid. I've like
I am unstoppable.
they didn't put the baby pool above the grass, so it's clipping in. Bear in mind, this is all on epic settings. Alex, Zelda will be 60 on Metacritic. That one, I do think you'll have some takers on that bet, Alex. I think you'll find some people willing to take you up on that. 2000 Armored Core 6 will win Game of the Year. For this year? I don't know about that, dude. Maybe. I still, like I said, I still think Armored Core is probably pretty niche. In my humble opinion. I think it's more niche than Tears of the Kingdom. So I'd be surprised if it doesn't, if Tears of the Kingdom doesn't beat it.
I've got you.
Maybe it does. But I don't know. I would say it's more likely that Tears of the Kingdom wins Game of the Year than Armored Core. Armored Core has a chance for sure. Starfield, I would be putting well below. But yeah, Tears of the Kingdom is going to be a hard one to beat. $5,000, at least 500,000 Elden Ring players refund Armored Core on Steam after an hour and a half. I'm actually pretty interested in how that plays out. Because for those of you not familiar yet, I know we talked about this the other day, but I think it is important to mention. Armored Core is not like Soulsborne games. It's not like Dark Souls. It's not like Elden Ring. They will play different. And the devs are trying to be very clear. The publishers are being clear. They're different games, right? It's not the same. And they're trying to make that clear because I think you're right. Some people are going to buy Armored Core expecting it to be Elden Ring with robots, and they're going to be very disappointed. So I actually, like, even with all the efforts from the marketing campaign, I agree there's going to be a lot of people that are going to buy it, and you're going to be very surprised when it doesn't play that way.
Brandon Reyes super chatted $19.99.
Jeez, thank you, dude.
Starfield has to drop and be a hit, or there isn't really a way to justify owning an Xbox besides being the cheapest option for next-gen gaming. Even then you have no titles to try on it. PC and PS5 combo becoming best choice.
For one, thank you for the $19.99. That's very generous. Thank you. And I do think, Brandon, that you're right. I think that they've got, like, they just have got to start figuring this out. If it's true, like Jeff Grubb was saying in the podcast, that this is a game that Xbox execs saw and they knew this was never going to be good, then that could be the case, that they just decided, like, just get it out there. It's going to suck. It's going to do badly. Maybe some people will like it, but I'm sure they weren't expecting it to be this poorly received. Because I'm sure they thought that it was going to be a little polished or a little refined, but they've got to get a banger. Like, again, we're almost 3 years into this console generation, and it feels like there's been really no bangers from Microsoft at all. Like, what is Hi-Fi Rush? Yeah, but I would also say Hi-Fi Rush is a lot more niche than this is. I still haven't seen anything that makes me want a PS5.
Good to see you.
If you don't like
I told you already, I don't want to
third-person adventure games, then yeah, you're not gonna
trust these people, huh?
you're not gonna like it.
helping folks out there, even fighting back a little.
You know what happened at the shelter. You think that can't happen here?
We gotta trust somebody, Joe.
Equip
Can't
salvage.
be us against the whole town.
It already is.
Look, I don't want to leave. You think I'm fit to move with him out there? And there's a doctor here. This is the best chance we have.
If something goes wrong, I told you so, Anna.
Look how short he is.
Told you so.
No, you kind of remind me of myself at your age.
Can I just refresh ammo? Is that not a thing? Wait, where was the ammo? I could have sworn there was a place to get ammo. Am I just imagining that? Was it like over here? Lost and found lockpick, rewire kit. Am I just imagining that? I'd be interesting to see how many console commands are accessible through config file changes, though I only know UE3 commands. Oh, that could be interesting. The random notes everywhere.
You all right?
How do you go from Dishonored 1 to Death of the Outsider and Prey, then make Deathloop, which wasn't bad but mid, and then this thing?
I know what it's like.
An interesting thing, for one, thank you for the 5, before I forget. Thank you for the 5. An interesting thing is that it's been described that there's a real, like, departure in their, like, their attempted style. It's like when a vlogger tries to make documentaries, or when a like country musician tries to get into rap. It's like, maybe it goes well, and we're like, oh my god, why did they ever do anything other than this? This is so great. But it probably will suck. Probably will suck. And with this, it just seems like there's been 2 games now where Arcane has tried to get into multiplayer shooters, because I would assume maybe executives at the studio like those games themselves, really enjoy playing them, and just decided, hey, we can do this, and decided to try it, and are now kind of surprised that they're not being received well. Because it's such a consistent thing, like just time and time again, they're just trying this thing that is not going well, and then they act surprised when it doesn't go well. Man, mad poppin'. Like, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that this graph is not the steady flat graph that it should be. It's all over the place, man. Interesting. Look at PC Gaming Wiki. It says Portuguese support was advertised, but is not available. Really? Hasn't that been a thing with a handful of games? Specifically Portuguese support? Wasn't that a thing with like Forespoken, or... I remember there was a game getting like mass downvoted, and I looked it up on Metacritic, and all of the reviews were just like spamming, add Portuguese to the game. Add it, add it, add it. Or something like that. Was it Returnal? I don't know. But yeah, it just seems like this is a game that the studio has wanted to make, or somebody in the studio has wanted to make.
Oh, daytime. Sorta.
Even though nobody really likes the idea. Like, none of their fans are into it. It would be like if I went from making gaming content and then I started exclusively making like makeup tutorials. You'd be like, what? Like, dude, I'm glad that you like doing this, but like, this isn't why we subbed. This isn't what we wanted. Like, what is this?
Something to play with. That's not how this works, beloved.
I live for bad punch animations.
Still alive. Wild.
I love it. Seriously, though, I need ammo. I guess I haven't really been looting bodies, so that's probably most of it. I swear there's so many freaking notes. Hey, at least it has ultra wide support. Sort of. When you pull up the menu, you see it cuts them off, the top of their head off, and the UI slides to the left. So it does, but not really. It's like a little screwed up, just a little. Phil Spencer is probably loving this game. It's sad that Xbox is going downhill, and personally think Starfield will be a huge letdown. Well, Ginger Beast, I think here's my official prediction. Everybody can mark this. Wow, you guys are so active. This is my prediction. Starfield releases. I think it gets a mix of like 8 and 9s, a few 10s, probably averages like high 80s on Metacritic. Okay. But Twitter and YouTube and TikTok will be an actual disaster, with people sending out clips of bugs and glitches and weird animation hitching, like all sorts of stuff. And the story will quickly become on social media that the game is like an utter disaster, an embarrassment, because everybody really, really enjoys pointing at broken, buggy launches and making fun of them. But I think a lot of people will still enjoy the crap out of Starfield. But I think it will be releasing very buggy, very glitchy, super stuttery, all sorts of weird stuff going on. But it will still be very fun for a lot of people. So like, I expect to really enjoy it, but I do expect to have a big old section in the review and critique discussing how buggy and busted it is.
You can't win.
So that's pretty. That's kind of cool. I'm ready. So basically, Jedi Survivors, yeah, I think people who are actually playing it will enjoy it. But anybody who's not playing it will look from the outside in and be like, this is unacceptable. But it's just because, I mean, kind of like Hogwarts Legacy, people who are like big Xbots right now, I mean, we've had a couple in chat, are coming in and are going like, Luke, how on earth could you be like railing against this when you were okay with Hogwarts Legacy? The difference I would say is that Hogwarts Legacy, you could at least hit play and it would play. It wasn't just downright broken on most hardware. This game I'd say is playable right now. I mean, obviously we're playing it, but I mean, look at the frame time graph, look at the inconsistent performance. This is not where it should be, but I'd say this is playable. Bear in mind, this is on a very expensive high-end PC. On lower tier hardware, it's much worse. On the Series S, it's pretty bad. And if you don't believe me, just go watch the video we posted yesterday about it. So there's that. The other thing is when a game is really, really good, a lot of people can excuse technical problems. They just do. Like if people really love Fallout New Vegas because the role playing, because the writing, the companions, the questing, all of that is so good, they're going to be willing to forgive or at the very least look past a lot of those bugs and glitches. That's just how it is. Love it or hate it. People are willing to overlook it if the rest of the game is good enough. And in the case of Redfall, it's just not good enough to have us excuse it. And that's really all it comes down to. Like, yeah, if the gunplay were better, if the AI was really good, if the concept was more interesting, we'd maybe be more inclined to just forgive it. Or, again, to look past it. But in this case, I just don't think we are. So it's just that simple. I'm glad some people are loving it. Is that a dildo? No, it's Scrimshaw. Scrimshaw! But I get it. People are bummed, like, and they're getting defensive because they feel lied to. They feel betrayed by Xbox, and so they get very defensive. It's kind of like, you know, the 5 stages of depression. What is it? It's like 5 stages of depression. Or is it 7 stages? I don't know. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then acceptance. Right now, a lot of like the crazy hardcore Xbox fanboys are in denial. And then they get angry. Some of them are starting to get angry now and lashing out. Then they're going to get into bargaining. And then after that, when they bargain and try to go like, well, maybe Starfield will be really, really good. Maybe this, and this. This probably doesn't happen until Starfield comes out and is kind of buggy. And then they'll probably go straight into depression. And then they'll just accept, okay, Xbox is maybe getting there, but it might take another 3-4 years for them to get where they need to be. Because if it is true that Starfield, grave logs are scattered around. Interesting.
I'm sorry.
If it is true that Xbox producers and executives saw Redfall back in the day, back in 2020, 2021, and were like, this game is just not going to do well. This isn't going to be good. People aren't going to like it. It's going to do poorly. If that's what they said, and they just said, I don't know, just get it out. We just need more games on the roster, so just work on it and get it out. But we're not giving you tons of delays. We're not giving you big budgets. You're just going to finish this and then move on to something that we think is going to do better. That's one attitude, but that's an attitude that basically burns 3-4 years of dev time, which it did. Like Jeff said in a podcast, he thinks they should have just canceled it. And I think that's a case-by-case basis. I don't know. Do you guys think that they should have canceled this? Do you think that this is something that they should have just been like, it's not going to be received well. It's too weird and it's just not a great idea to begin with. Just cancel it. Should they have canceled it, or should they have just done what they've done here? Get the game out the door. It'll appeal to some people. Some people will really like it, which is awesome. But a lot of people will not like it. And then they just like try to patch it and move on. All right, I don't have to stab them in the heart.
Ed finds you.
Wow, dude. What is the shadow quality on the railings? I was looking at that too. It looks like it's like a screen space ambient occlusion or something. Like, I'm not even really sure, but you can always tell because if you look in the distance, here, I'll show you again. So like look on the railings. So under the railings, you're gonna see shadows pop in and out. See right there? See that? That shadow moving? If anybody in chat knows what that is, let me know. I don't know what that's called, but I mean, if it's being occluded and then, whoops, and then the shadow goes away, it's got to be some sort of screen space, something or other. But it is a little distracting. Not a big deal, though. I mean... Yeah, he must be sweating. I'm just built different, guys. The other thing that is, like, really a huge bummer about this is...
There was more of us. Mama,
It's
Eddie,
the fact that Arcane has been known for a decade plus for having phenomenal level design. Like, that's what made Dishonored so great, was the level design, almost exclusively. Like, the level design and the movement capabilities made those games. And in, like, Deathloop, there was a little bit of it, but you ran through the levels so many times with the time loop mechanic that, like, there wasn't really any replay. The replay happened in your first playthrough because you went through the levels so many times individually. Whereas this, there just isn't any careful level design. It's just super generic, open world, whatever. I thought vampires aren't able to go out in the sunlight. Is this a bug or a feature? What? Or is it because there's an eclipse that they're able to be out in the sun? Like, it might create... There's still sunlight. It's just that there's an eclipse, but like there's still sunlight. Am I crazy? I don't think that's supposed to... Okay, I don't know. That one guy.
99 cents.
Thank you.
Hey Luke, I have a dilemma and was curious on what your opinion would be. Should I spend my last $70 on food for my starving child, or should I spend it on this high quality game? Thanks, buddy.
Oh man, that's a good question. That's a good question. I mean, I think it's really important to have a really high quality video game to play. Food grows on trees, video games don't. So just go find a tree to get your food and play a video game with your money, okay? Oh man, look at that. I can't stand that. Okay, hold on. Windows Plus. We're zooming in, folks. Look at that. Like, this is that weird hashing that DLSS performance does if it renders too low. Like, the cars are fine, the road's fine, the roof's fine, the siding's fine, but shadows it really struggles with. Enhance. And again, like, for you guys, it might not look that bad. We're streaming in 4K 60, so you can see it in high resolution if you want. But when I'm playing this on a 45-inch monitor, which I am right now, like, that's rough. Oh, that was not even ultra performance. Did it save it? Okay, upscaling disable. Yes, I'm sure. But even then, hold on. Did it actually stay turned off? Because it's still there. Disabled. Yeah, it's disabled. Okay, so that wasn't even DLSS. DLSS was upscaling it accurately. The shadows just look like ass. Like, that's what it actually is rendering it like natively. It looks better with DLSS. Am I crazy? I think it looked like the cars looked better and more detailed with DLSS turned on. What on earth? This is like frying my brain right now. Overall quality, epic. DLSS, quality. Frame generation on. Yeah, dude, it looks the same. If not like a little sharper around the cars. I don't understand it, dude. This whole thing is weird. None of this game makes any sense. The art style is also crap. Well, like, the art style going back to Dishonored was very unique. You could tell it was an Arcane game just by the look of it. And I can appreciate that, certainly. However, I do think at this point, if you're gonna do like a strong art style like this in 4K, you have to strike a balance where like texture quality has to look intentionally, I don't even know what you'd call it, painterly maybe, because the art style that they use is sort of this like, it's a really interesting like watercolor style. I don't know how you describe it. I guess if somebody has experience with it or has read up on what they describe it as. Bro, look at the tire. Come on, dude. That tire's supposed to be circular. Look at that tire. Like, why is that tire having problems, but this one isn't? What? It's just so inconsistent.
There's more of them.
Where you at? See, this guy's inside, which makes sense because it's daytime. Okay, I remember hearing, I think it was ACG's review, maybe, where he said that they got through like almost all of the game before realizing that something they thought was a feature was actually a bug. And I wonder if this is what he was referring to. Was he referring to the game having like vampires out in the day, thinking that was a feature, but it's actually a bug? Wait, what? Oh my God. Okay, I thought it actually paused it, but I guess because it's a multiplayer game, it doesn't actually pause it. Okay, I'm gonna go here and swap this out for this. And then this out for this. The AI has no path tracing, by the way.
I am unstoppable.
Yeah, you're unstoppable because you're fighting a bunch of like...
You've made a mistake. Bad mistake.
What is this?
You're better than that.
Oh, she can't die. There we go. kind of fun. Flare gun. What are you doing? Next generation! Next generation gaming! Dab dab! Oh man. Again, it just makes it so hard. Like this, it's just so depressing because I want to be able to hype it up and be like, oh yeah! Look out, PlayStation, another player in town. But this makes it kind of difficult. A little bit difficult. I feel bad for anyone who spent $70 on this. Like what Maddie said in his review, reminds me of Fallout 76 when it launched. Yeah, I mean, I would say in my experience, playing this on PC, I haven't had Fallout 76 level issues. Fallout 76 was like straight up unplayable. As I've said, this is playable on a super expensive computer. But you would hope it would be, like, goddamn. However, on mid-tier hardware, I would not be surprised at all if this is just like a broken pile of garbage.
Historical marker. Redfall sure loves those.
Great sniper, very aware. Ow. Am I not supposed to be over here?
I needed that.
Because that damage multiplier hits hard. God, I hate Layla. I still have found like very little reason to actually use her ability. Which, bear in mind, like when you're playing a game and one of the defining features is that there are different characters with different abilities, and you don't find yourself needing to use or even wanting to use the abilities hardly ever, you have to wonder, okay, well then why are they there? Like, why did you spend all this time trying to introduce these systems if nobody gives a crap? Bro. You just kind of like slightly fist him in the butt and then he's down. Down for the count. Oh, and he's still making sounds. Was that him or is there another guy right here? Oh, maybe it was this guy. I was like, if the dead body or the incapacitated body is sighing, I don't know what to do. Oh, man. I think right now the biggest challenge, WoW is right. I think the biggest challenge for this game is that there's just no challenge. Like, the challenge is no challenge. Because like saying that this would be fun to play with friends, it might be, but there needs to be a hell of a lot more difficulty introduced when you do that. Because if it's this brain dead, like why would I need somebody to go through it with? Like, are you kidding me? What are we doing? Fist him in the butt. Yeah, you heard me. You heard me. I know what's up. I get around. This was made for Gen Z. I mean, man, honestly, I think Gen Z expects more than this. Like, if anything, Gen Z, I think, is more demanding than even a lot of older gamers. Stake launcher. Oh. Where's the stake? Oh, it's a special separate thing. Okay. Oh, no, there it is. Interesting. Like, I think Gen Z is used to like the Fortnite style games or Apex and that kind of thing, which are constantly updated. Gunplay is super tight usually. And say what you will about Fortnite, 'cause, I mean, again, I've been playing it recently, so it's at the top of my mind. Epic is very good at quick updates to fix things. Like, I ran into one bug, or not even a bug, just like an annoyance where there was like an upgrade. You upgrade your character through the match and you hit 7. So you hit 7 and then you select which upgrade you want. But if you had 2 upgrades because you got in a firefight, got distracted, whatever, you could hit that. But then it would like close the menu down and you'd have to hit 7 again to bring up the menu again. It's like, okay, that's kind of annoying. And within like 2 days, they had issued a patch that fixed it. So then when you hit 7, if you had 2 upgrades available, it would just keep the menu open. Something super small, granted, probably doesn't matter to most people. Super small, but it does make a difference. Dead Catch Records. Oh. It's the lady from the trailer. She definitely has more HP. Ooh.
I needed that.
Nice. See, that was good. There's a little pushback, a little challenge. I like that. That was good. Now that we've done a little exploring, though, I want to try a story mission. Oh, I thought the bear was an enemy. Oh, no. They're clipped inside the box. I bet you can. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Okay, I'll stop being a prick. Okay, let's go and do... Actually, I should probably loot this and then go do a story mission, right? I need the records key.
People told me it was a disease. A disease in the blood.
Not a disease in the blood.
Family did. Killed all of them. I couldn't save none.
That's kind of cool. I'll give him that. There's like fish in there. That's fun. Okay.
This town used to be dead after dark.
Level 2 ammo. Okay. Map. Let's see. Island crash site. I think we're supposed to go there. Search helicopter crash for survivors. In theater, Essence, State Crowns. Safe house. Power on to unlock the fast travel point. Okay. I think this is where we want to go. So I'm going to fast travel over here and we'll go to the helicopter. I would honestly alt F4 after that. I mean, again, everybody's tolerance for bugs is different. And that's one of the great things about gamers, honestly, is that something can launch just clunky. Like New Vegas is a phenomenal example so often for this, because New Vegas is a great game, but it's a broken pile of garbage, technically speaking. Okay. We love the game. I love the game, but it's freaking broken. Even now, if you try to play on PC, depending on what hardware you're running, you just can't. You have to download mods. You have to download fixes from the community. It's great that the community is doing that, but the point is, it's broken by default. Like, even if you want to fix it, you won't be able to. I'm also noting the ammo counter in the bottom right isn't syncing properly, so it'll show 0 ammo left for the shotgun like it just did, but then you can still reload it. It's a little strange. Anyway, however, even with like minimal fixes, some people can play New Vegas just fine. Like on the 360, I remember playing New Vegas and I was like, yeah, it's super broken and buggy, but I'm having a good time. So honestly, if you're one of those players that can play a game that's super buggy and unoptimized and still have a good time, revel in that, savor that, because there's a lot of people who wish they could. Like, I think I could play a lot more. Oh my god. I think I would play a lot more games if I had a higher tolerance for it, frankly. And I kind of wish I did. Yeah, PUBG. PUBG's another great example. A lot of people love PUBG, but for me, it's so clunky even now. It's certainly better now, but back in the day when it was huge, taking on like Fortnite, I couldn't get into it just because it was pretty buggy and broken. Do I have any sniper rifles yet? I don't know. I like this. This rifle's pretty nice. I'll keep it. With a pistol.
Bellwether. They were hired to come here and burn shit? Why? I need to look through this back at the fire station.
Okay.
Oh, hello.
Sell all this. Okay, back upstairs. So one of the things with this game, it doesn't actually have like cutscenes. It has, oh shit, what's it called? It's like silhouettes or marquees or something. I forget the term for it, but it's like an actual thing where it's just like little vignettes, little vignettes that pop up of freeze frames of scenes. It's really weird. Okay, let's watch this. So we have a few missions available. Grave situation. Father's watch to be placed at his mother's gravesite so the two of them can be together. Giving you tomorrow. Get to the Avum clinic and find Bellwether team. Avum hired Bellwether to clean up the evidence of their work on Redfall and secure company assets and VIPs. There's something on those film reels. Avum doesn't want the rest of the world to see. Maybe you can get to the film before Bellwether destroys the evidence. At the very least, they might have a way off the island. Or, a voice in the dark, someone is broadcasting emergency rescue plans over the radio, telling people they'll get food, shelter, and a way off the island at Samuelson's shipyard. The signal is coming from Dead Catch Records. Oh, I was just there. A local record store and radio station. You and your allies suspect the broadcast is fake, made by vampire cultists working for the Hollow Man to lure desperate civilians into a trap. Shut down the broadcast at Dead Catch Records, then go to Samuelson Shipyard for any civilians. Okay. Let's do this one, because we were just there.
Cults.
Okay, you see what I mean?
We have cults now. I mean, I knew there were people acting strange all over town, but now they're sacrificing their neighbors to those monsters, dead ass. As if that would keep them safe.
Oh my god!
And now they're dressing up and saying they worship the Hollow Man? This is getting so weird. Well, weirder. Aren't the monsters enough? Oh god, this is worse somehow. It's just murder. They're murdering their friends, their neighbors, their families. That cult is broadcasting a trap from the radio station in town, sending people to the shipyard. It needs to be shut down.
Unironically using the term dead ass. I can't, dude. I can't. Unironically using the term dead ass. I'm amazed. Wow. Again, like, people have asked, like, who writes this dialogue thinking that that's cool, thinking that that's fun? Because for us, we joke around that, like, dead ass is what, like, a cringe person like Aiden Ross is gonna say. Like, yeah, oh, dead ass, bro, whatever. Dead ass finna bussin', right? We joke about it because nobody really talks that way because it's stupid. But she actually just said that without, like, it being comedic. She said it dead ass. Dead ass, bro. I can't even. But this is the thing, like, who designs and who writes these characters this way? I think people that are writing these games actually do talk like that. They just got out of, like, lit college drama 3+ master's degree anonymous, and now they're getting a job in game development, and these, like, 60-year-old dudes are hiring them because they think that they're gonna have, like, a hip, cool kid writing their game for them. And instead they just get basically a Netflix special, which is dead ass on arrival, because it's awful.
The radio station. That's where the broadcast is coming from.
Just heard a cough. Let's see that AI. Oh, he did see me. I'll give you credit. I realize I have a gigantic flashlight shining. Oh. Where'd he go? Oh no, he clipped inside. Oh, that's tremendous. Just Cowboy, welcome. Thank you. Dead ass. That was amazing. They all huddle up around the gas tank. Quick, guys, get in cover. This big red barrel will be fine. Oh my God. The elevator lift is kind of fun. I like that ability. It's finnabussin'. It's finnabussin' for real. Real talk. Oh, this is where that vampire died. That's awesome. Damn, you smoked him dead ass. Dead ass, bro. I need the studio key. Again, still.
Will be conducting an emergency airlift from the Samuelson shipyard. This is your last chance to evacuate the island safely.
Okay, so they are broadcasting. They're in the bathroom?
I see ya!
Wow.
Huh. Dead ass on God right there. Wow, dude. It's pretty bad. On God. That's pretty bad. Dude, are they wiping with paper towels? No. They have toilet paper. No, that's paper towels. Dude, you're gonna clog. No, okay, it's toilet paper. I was like, you're gonna clog something fierce if you use that. I picked this thing up, but the light source is still there, so it still shines like it's there. There was a little like ghostly grave, whatever, I forget what they're called, but it was sitting there. I picked it up when we were here last time, but the light didn't despawn when the item was picked up. So the light emitted by the item is still there. No cap, dead ass, finna bussin' on God.
There. No one else is falling for that bullshit.
You can't stop me. No matter how many you kill, there will always be more who will beg to join the monster. And eventually, so will you.
It's just such a bummer that there is so little,
That guy, why is he everywhere?
so little creativity in the level design. Like, it's really heartbreaking when you've seen what this company is capable of, and then you see just how lame this is in comparison. It's just really depressing. Just gonna keep going. Oh, man. I'm jealous of Luke's wife. Dead ass. On God.
Shit!
Oh, I'm pretty sure that the Epic Game Store will give this free in about a year if this game is dead. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I honestly don't... Like, this is the weird thing about Game Pass, okay? It gives and it takes. Because on the one hand, it's nice that we can get this. Tulip Trap, by the way, thank you so much. It gives because we don't have to pay $70 to try the game, right? That's nice. Whereas like 5 years ago we would, or 10 years ago, whatever. So if it sucks, We just wasted the time to download and try it, right? It's not that big of a deal. But the other thing with it is, think about it from Microsoft's perspective. If this game is amazing, what does that sound? They might get some new signups to Game Pass. Maybe. Probably not many, but they'll probably get some. But if the game sucks ass, I don't think they're losing many subs. Because, like, people are upset now, sure, but they signed up for the month. Or a lot of people, I'd say maybe even the majority, are on like 3, 6, 12-month plans. And so for them, like, they release it buggy, broken, garbage. And people are upset, sure. But does it actually hurt their bottom line for the game to launch broken? I'm not convinced it really does. Like, the bad press right now, the bad media with it, and the fact that, honestly, gamers are so pissed about this and so annoyed that they've been waiting so long for a good game and then they get this. I get that. That frustration is palpable and is real, but I don't know if that actually affects their bottom line in a significant way. And so, like, I think that could vouch for what the rumor currently is, which is that Microsoft knew that this wasn't going to be received well. They didn't like the idea, but they said, just get it out there so we can claim we have another exclusive. And they were probably hoping that it would launch okay and it would get like 7 out of 10s or maybe a couple 8 out of 10s, but probably average around 7, and they could just move on. And I don't think they were expecting it to be received this poorly and to be this buggy and broken, but I mean, what are you going to do at this point? And I think that they were just like, just get it out. Just get it out. It doesn't really hurt the bottom line. It doesn't really hurt our revenue numbers. It just is what it is. There's a guy over here. Peak player count was 6,100 on Steam. Now it's 2,500. Bro. Ow. That's new. Oh. There we go. My goodness. It's just line of sight. Do I just have to get around corners? Come right here, dude. On God, come here. We're close. That was a little better. That was better. Required like a little bit of movement. I'll take that. Do I have... No. I'm hoping for a gold rifle at some point. That's all I really want.
Okay, it's over now.
I like Xbox originals. We haven't had good Xbox and PC only for ages, it feels. Yeah, I mean, again, like the closest thing you can say is Hi-Fi Rush. But Hi-Fi Rush, I still insist, is very niche. Like the people who have played it and like it, I liked it. I enjoyed it, but I don't think that that does what Xbox needs it to do, which is to be like the game for a week or two. Ow. Oh, there's a sniper.
I needed that.
Heard the radio lately.
Beacon Valley, welcome. Thank you. Oh. We're not playing this super tactically, as you can tell. Are they just like slowly walking towards me? Oh, another vampire. You over here? Yeah, she moved down here. Okay. You know, coming up the stairs, you're supposed to have the high ground. I definitely picked up pistol ammo. Why do I not have any? Okay, well. Because I saw it, I picked it up, and then it went, I was like, okay, I should reload. And then I didn't, because I was like, it'll be fine. I'll get through this first. Maybe it's like a specialty handgun or pistol ammo? I don't know.
There ain't nothing could kill me.
Okay, we did that.
Shit!
This might be bad. I don't have any healing. And I think the boss fight's about to start. I thought you streamed on Twitch, got confused. Oh yeah, AJ, we tried it for a little bit, but we settled on YouTube for a handful of reasons. I like the chat on Twitch more, but I also really like the replay options on YouTube with DVR support. And as you can see, we're streaming in 4K 60 right now, which you can't use on Twitch. And yes, Eric, we're using the AV1 thing that YouTube just introduced. So we are streaming right now at 4K 60 with 12 megabit per second. On YouTube, normally that would be like for a really good 1080 60 stream.
Auntie wouldn't let him see me at first.
So
Said no
it's pretty fire if we're being real.
I wanted folk to be well.
I do like the YouTube community a lot. And I mean, frankly, at the end of the day, this only works because of you guys. So if you guys prefer YouTube, like, who am I to be like, yeah, get over to Twitch, you know? Like, can you imagine? UV beam. Like, if you guys just really like Twitch, I'd be more likely to move to Twitch, right? Like, I think that makes sense. But if you're a YouTube fans and you like watching on YouTube, greatly prefer that. Like it would kind of suck to just be like, yeah, get over it. Especially because usually there's reasons you guys prefer one over the other. You know, it's not like you're just making it up haphazardly. That's one hell of a radio station. I kind of wish they had color coded the weapons in this weapon wheel. I think that would have been helpful. I prefer YouTube Live for sure. Like you on YouTube, dude, feels right. Well, and it's just, it kind of lines up because a lot of people for the longer videos already have YouTube Premium. The other thing that's like honestly so difficult with Twitch is just that for one, their systems are outdated. The fact that like 4K streaming is not a thing on Twitch is laughable. In 2023. It's ridiculous. YouTube just introduced RTMP Plus with 4K 60 support. And it's night and day.
Wow. This is weird. What were those people doing? Those people thought they were gonna get arrested.
I don't know why he's glowing, but okay. Epos Vox used it. Yeah, I looked up his guides for setting this up. I do love me some Epos Fox. It's just, I mean, again, the perception is, at least from my point of view, that Twitch is actively getting worse and YouTube is actively getting better. I remember saying a few weeks ago or a month ago or something, I was like, it feels like YouTube's just given up to focus on shorts. But then I thought about it from a different perspective and I was like, well, just getting like the 4K 60 thing up and running is a pretty insane improvement by itself. That's not a small feat. Getting 4K 60 streaming global is a crazy feature. Like that is madness when you really think about what has to go into it. So they haven't just been sitting on their ass. They've been working on it. Not everybody's going to benefit from it because right now you basically need like a pretty crazy streaming setup to be able to benefit from it. But I mean, for us being able to do 4K 60 right now, that's wild. That's wild. We're testing performance of this game on PC. Yeah, and we're just playing through some of it to see what it's like. Because the reviews obviously are not great. But we want to see if people are just kind of like exaggerating or if people are being honest and real with it. No, just playing it by ear. Twitch stream quality and bitrate is busted. Well, they're so obsessed, I think, Amazon is, with maintaining a certain like profitability standard that they need to get margins up. And so the idea of them using AWS to crank 4K 60 globally for all streamers is just not doable. Even if they made it just a Twitch partner thing, I think that they still would not want to do it because they just are like, we're not making enough money as is. So why would we greatly increase the bandwidth? Meanwhile, Google and YouTube, they're just like, yeah, we'll just do it. Whatever. Because it's the same infrastructure they use for YouTube. It's like right now, you guys, I'm streaming this in AV1, but then it gets transcoded to VP9 and sent to you unless you have specifically enabled AV1 video in your YouTube settings. If you go up to like the gear icon or the 3 lines and then the settings options, you can force it to play AV1. It's just wild that they can do it so effortlessly like that. Oh, where did all of them go? Did they just leave out that way? Hold on. Find the safe house. Samuelson Shipyard. Player character. Go here. I can remove that. I just forced AV1. Thanks for the tip. Yeah, no, it'll work now with YouTube videos and then the streams as well. And it's just AV1 is so much better than any of these other. I was already there. Oh, whatever. Yeah, it's just so much better than anything any of these competitors are using. Like, is YouTube perfect? No, YouTube has a ton of problems. But, you know who has more? Twitch. Look at that. Look at that texture right there. There it goes. Took a second. Okay, backpack. Like, is this really... Why can I not salvage it? Oh, I have it equipped. Okay. Wait, why do I have that equipped? Okay, there we go. I must have accidentally pressed it. A sniper. I'm just going to keep... Level 4, 107 to 91. I feel like we're just cruising through these levels. Does anybody know what the max level is? Can I not have the... Okay, whatever. Wait, how do I force AV1? You can force it by like going... like here, settings. Let me make sure it's not going to share anything that's not supposed to be shared. And then you can go, where's the button? You can go right here into playback and performance and then hit always prefer AV1. You check that. And then if AV1 is available for that video, then you can do it. And the way you can check if it's working is like if we go here, right click, stats for nerds. Here you can see this one's playing in VP9. So this isn't playing in AV1. I wonder if this one is. Yeah, and this one is playing in AV1. Right there. You can see. So you can kind of force it here and there. But AV1, way lower bandwidth, and it runs, in my view, often at high resolutions, and it just looks better, frankly. There's a reason it's the standard now. Is it below me? Is it in the basement? It's like in the ambulance. Must be downstairs. Vampire Blood Remnant. Blood Remnants are samples. Oh, wait, what did I do here? Hold on. Here we go. Are samples of vampiric blood infused with psychic energy. Wow. Equipping a blood remnant will increase your health and in some cases grant resistances to certain damage types or trigger special abilities when you use medical supplies. Blood remnants can occasionally be found in the remains of slain vampires, but the strongest remnants are rumored to lie at the bottom of vampire nests. Okay.
I bet I could get this working again. Idea. Could make things seem a little more normal.
Yeah. Okay. Can't wait for the internet historian bit on this game. Yeah, I mean, it's just... Again, nobody likes this. Nobody's happy about this. Oh, here's the restock. Nobody's happy about this. Like, this sucks. Everybody, like, we would like to be able to talk really positively. We'd like to hype it up and discuss it. But frankly, like... It's just the case that this isn't where it needs to be. And frankly, like what happened with Deathloop, people like Maddie, I was actually really pleased with Maddie in his review because I feel like he tore into a lot of this in a pretty fair way where he said, like, look what happens when we excuse things like bad AI or glitches or this or that. It's like then the studio thinks that they can get away with it and they push the boundary even further. And that's what happened with Deathloop. The AI was terrible and then they pushed the boundary more and more and more and more. And now we have a game with pretty bad AI with a pretty lackluster concept behind it and weird co-op multiplayer that we all just kind of excuse because whatever. And it shouldn't be like that. Like we shouldn't tolerate it. No. I believed in Arcane till the end. I was wrong. Well, Dante, it just goes to show you like nobody is immune from mistakes. And hopefully they're going to look at this and move forward and try to reevaluate. The danger is sometimes when there's like some sycophantic apologists that are like, the game's actually really good. Everybody else is just hating on it for the sake of hating on it. Or it's like a psyop from PlayStation. It's like, or maybe the game is just bad. Like maybe that's what it is. Got one straggler hair going crazy. Maybe that's what it is. It's just not what it should be. I don't know. I think it's just important for us to be consistent and honest and direct about this stuff. Otherwise, you're not helping anything. You really aren't. You really, really aren't. Anyway, speaking of being honest and direct with it, let's see what the Star Wars Jedi Survivor Digital Foundry looked like. I did not see this. I've not checked it out, but I heard some people were saying that the game is running at like a shockingly low resolution by default, which would be very, very interesting. So let's see what this is like. Oh, wait.
Fallen Order was a very interesting game, if not an entirely successful one, combining the exploration and puzzle solving of Metroid games with combat mechanics inspired by Dark Souls, but the game itself was saddled with technical issues, particularly at launch, that dampened the experience.
I played it back in the day on the Xbox One X, and that thing ran like hot dog garbage for me. Like, it was rough. Isn't there 2 Arcane studios? Yeah, there's Arcane Lyon, and there's Arcane Austin in Texas. Arcane Austin are the ones that did Prey, and then they just did Redfall. And then Lyon did like Dishonored 1 and 2, and then they did Deathloop. AV1 setting is only available on AMD RDNA 2 GPUs outside of Navi 24 based 6500 XT and NVIDIA GeForce 30 and 40 series GPUs, Intel XZ and Arc GPUs. Older hardware does not have it. Correct. Correct. And also like Apple iPhones don't have it. iPads I don't think have it. MacBooks should. I'm pretty sure the Apple Silicon MacBooks, and a lot of Android phones I believe have it. But it's the new standard. So in like 2-3 years, everything you buy is going to have AV1 decoding. Encoding is a different thing. It's becoming more standard. But a lot of devices can decode it, though they can't encode it.
Brisk 3.5 years later, and Respawn has delivered its sequel, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. This is a boundary-pushing current-gen exclusive built on Unreal Engine 4 with ray tracing and advanced image reconstruction. So does Jedi Survivor rival the best-looking current-gen games, and has it repeated some of the technical sins of its predecessor?
It's just such a bummer because when
From
the game
moment
is
you
looking
press
good and
play on
running
Jedi
well,
Survivor,
it's amazing.
It's clear that you're looking at something special. The game opens with a truly stunning real-time cutscene. The characters are highly detailed, but the lighting, which shows impressive detail and true-to-life fidelity, is the real star of the show. Just look at how consistent and correct the material properties across the characters are. These findings apply to the PS5 and Series X releases, and not quite as much to the Series S, which we'll be covering separately at the end of this video. That basically sets the tone for the entire game's visual presentation. Jedi Survivor's lighting is super
Look at the texture quality. I don't know. I don't think is this running on PS5? Because I don't remember it looking this good. I guess to be fair, we should run it in real time instead of sped up, because then we'll see the frame rates reflected more accurately. But yeah, the texture quality is amazing.
Consistent and rich in a way that's tough to achieve with conventional rasterized lighting techniques. Here we seem to be looking at a sort of RTGI system, probably a probe-based ray-traced global illumination that seems to become more dense around the player character. Though without explicit confirmation from the developer, it's not 100% clear. If we look at the PC version, we can separate out the ray-traced and non-ray-traced iterations of the game's lighting. Across the environment, the ray-traced lighting provides a richer, more realistic portrayal of light relative to the baked GI solution that otherwise seems to be in use. Look at the sign.
Honestly,
here,
the baked one looks really good
RTGI
too.
Gives the game a properly placed light highlight, while the non-RT version just has a faint diffuse glow, and there's a bit of light leak under the table in the non-RT view as well. The improvements here ranged from minor to quite dramatic, but the lighting and fine geometry is much more consistent with RT enabled. And if we toggle RT on while playing, we can clearly see the RT lighting pop into place over multiple frames while the game is actually running. Cutscenes show much the same pattern. Some shots can look quite similar, but the RT gives the game a greater level of consistency, evening out problems in otherwise well-lit scenarios and delivering much better outcomes when the rasterized lighting fails. The lighting looks good without RT, but the game gets a substantial visual boost when you do toggle on these RT settings, which are enabled on PS5 and Series X as well. Jedi Survivor also packs another RT staple, RT reflections, but in slightly more muted form here, I would say. In most shots, the RT basically functions as a fallback when screen space information is occluded. Combining SSR and RT reflections is common, of course, but here the SSR is substantially higher quality and has much better lighting information, and it's basically overlaid over the RT reflection.
Oh, the man bun. I gotta find the man bun, dude. I want to see the side-by-sides.
Interesting as well, in my opinion.
Oh, you remember that gross mossy texture on the ground? Oh, I remember that. It looks so bad. It looks so bad. Can I turn the video up? It is up. I don't know why, but that's as loud as it goes. They really, really like he's very soft-spoken in this one.
As some of the plans in particular are real standout. The interior looks evened out somewhat, with subtler distinctions between light and dark. The lighting setup is mostly similar, but a few spots have had artistic tweaks, like the corridor to the mechanical room, which is now mostly lit from door frame mounted lights. The main character also looks more realistically grounded within these spaces.
Oh yeah, the hair. His hair was always really weird in the first one. It does look way better.
Without the gamey look that the prior game suffered from. On the whole, Jedi Survivor is definitely up there in my eyes with the best looking games of this generation so far. I think the key takeaway is that Respawn has dialed up the artwork to really take advantage of the new console hardware, while introducing select ray tracing lighting effects to make that artwork truly shine. This isn't a fully ray traced behemoth by any means. Shadows are handled using a mix of shadow maps and screen space shadows, for instance. But
Screen space shadows. I think that's what we were looking at earlier in Redfall with the like occlusion from fence posts and stuff.
the overall visual impact of the experience is very pleasing, especially in those stunning real-time cinematics. There's plenty that
the real-time cinematics are absolutely insane. Remember in that in the video I did on it where we tried it on PS5, I thought it might be like, I thought it was pre-rendered. It took me a second to be like, oh no, this is real time. It's that good. It really is. It's amazing. It's just a bummer that the resolution is so low on PS5 and other consoles, because it makes everything look so blurry. When the asset quality is super high, being sharp would really showcase it well, but man.
resolution mode, and there is a good reason for that. The game operates using heavy upsampling courtesy of AMD's FSR2 to achieve
which sucks ass
its final rendered imagery, and that technique works much better with a higher internal resolution. For the PS5 version of the game, my colleague Tom Morgan counted results roughly in the ranges on screen for the two modes on offer. Essentially, the PS5 renders at around approximately
648p, wow,
or 720p during gameplay, depending on the visual mode, with heavy upsampling to make that imagery look good on a high-resolution display. In resolution mode, it looks like the game is upsampling to 4K, while performance mode upsamples to 1440p. Both modes do maintain the ray tracing effects, however, and there doesn't seem to be a substantial difference between them outside of resolution and some minor differences in foliage. As a final note, cutscenes on both.
I'm really glad to hear him say that though, because I thought I was going crazy. We swap between performance and resolution, and when performance mode is like bugging out in dense areas, it's only at like 40 frames, whereas the quality mode is at like 30. So it's like a 10 FPS difference, and it looks the same. It's just performance is way blurrier, but you get 10 FPS. So it's a real trade-off depending on what you want. But it definitely, like, the biggest problem with all of this is that they're relying so heavily on the upscaling. My real fear with the DLSS stuff and the frame generation and all that, it's amazing tech. However, when devs can just rely on upscaling to fix everything, I get worried. Because then, if the game isn't running well while they're developing it, and they're like, we'll just render it at 648p, and upscale it to hit 60. Like, don't get that twisted. The game is rendering at 648p. Like, not even 1080, not even 900, which is what like the Xbox One would do. It would render it at 900p. There was no AI upscaling or anything. It just rendered at 900p, and that's what it was. But now they're relying on this like AI upscaling stuff to improve it. And that's the only way they achieve this ray tracing like stuff that they're doing. I think games would be much better served if they just cut the ray tracing stuff except for quality mode, and they just made that like a special feature if you're willing to sacrifice all the frames, and then just bake everything else. Because it's insane that the game in 2023 is rendering on current gen hardware at 648p. That to me is wild. If it was rendering at 1080 or 900 and then upscaling to 1440, okay, maybe it can manage that. But like, it's rendering at GameCube resolutions. Okay, not quite GameCube, but it's rendering at like 360, Xbox 360 resolutions, sub 360, because 360 I think was 720p for most of its games. And then it's trying to upscale all the way to like 1440. And as a result, I mean, it looks like a blurry mess.
Both modes run in the same.
So is it performing better on Series X or PS5 right now? I downloaded the patch that they put out, I think yesterday. And I tried it. Frankly, for me, it doesn't really run noticeably better. But I wasn't running into a bunch of bugs. I was running into blurriness. Like you see in her hair right here. You see this? Like that weird artifacting is all over the place in my footage. And it makes it really hard to get like super into it. So I don't think, I mean, I've heard some people say that the game now isn't bugging out for them, and that's awesome. So they fixed something with the patch, but it's by no means fixed.
Resolution window with a 4K like image resolve and a 30 FPS performance cap.
GameCube was pretty high at the time. Most games ran at 800 by 600. I mean, if that's the case, this, like, Jedi Survivor often drops its resolution down to just above that, just above GameCube resolutions, and then it tries to AI upscale it, which AI upscaling's great. I'm not that impressed with FSR2, but like on NVIDIA stuff with the DLSS, I think it looks really good. DLSS 3 especially, and the frame generation is crazy. But these consoles can't do that. They can't do DLSS or any of that because it's AMD hardware. And as a result, you get the FSR2 stuff, which is better than nothing. It's better than if they just displayed 648p, I'm sure. But man, it makes the game look way crappier in comparison. I hope he goes side by side and shows the performance mode to quality and just the difference between the resolutions, because it's tough, man. The performance mode actually drops into the low 30s at times. Like, there's no point even using performance mode. It's weird. It is really weird. It's mildly frustrating, but at least the performance mode can go up to like 60, whereas the quality mode is like capped. It won't go above 30, I think. I'm 100% sure the reason is Denuvo DRM. Watch as Pirate strips Denuvo and performance is fixed. Maybe. I don't know. Did Digital Foundry find anything about Denuvo in this? Normally Denuvo isn't like that aggressive. It just seems like this game can't manage to render at modern resolutions. Even like last gen resolutions it can't handle. On PC, it's like a disaster unless you're using AI upscaling stuff. The 4090 is able to crank it at like 60 frames without FSR2 on, which is what I did in my PC video where I tried it on native resolutions at 1440 by 3440, and it ran pretty well at like 60, 70, but it drops down into the 30s and into the 20s at times.
How well,
Adam, I just realized this is live and I'm not watching a clip. Hey, what's up? Good to see you. Welcome. Yeah, chat's right there.
this works in practice is going to be a matter of personal taste and the display you have. With motion blur on in the resolution mode, I didn't find it to be too annoying.
I mean, this is resolution mode. I guess it's at 3x zoom.
Sitting a typical viewing distance from a large, slightly laggy VA LCD television. But the game does suffer from substantial artifacting, specifically
I mean, poor BD.
Around fine geometric edges and character silhouettes that kicks up basically any time there's movement. This gets worse in the performance mode, which struggles somewhat against its relatively low internal resolution. We're going to be seeing a lot of aggressive upsampling in use as this console generation progresses, but I do wish that the results were a little bit cleaner here. Series X fares about the same as PS5 in terms of image quality, and pixel counts come in at roughly the same figures as you might expect. We're still looking at heavy upsampling in both visual modes, with substantial artifacting and aliasing as a result. Let's look at performance, starting with Series X. In its resolution mode, the X does manage to hold a pretty consistent 30 FPS. Long stretches of gameplay run at a straight 30 without any real deviance. There's a one-off dropped frame sometimes, but we're mostly looking at a pretty decent 30 FPS update here. And Unreal Engine 4's excellent motion blur leaves the game looking pretty smooth in motion. However, there are moments where the game can drop pretty hard. Certain spots during gameplay and cinematics tend to chug badly, notably when large alpha effects are on screen. It's a bit annoying but not terribly frequent. And framerate drops in Jedi Survivor on all consoles are often accompanied by tearing in the top third of the screen, presumably a measure to improve input response, though the tear lines can be pretty distracting. The performance mode targets a 60 FPS update, and unfortunately, the results aren't great. In the opening level, performance tends to hover between 45 and 60 FPS in a sort of frame rate no man's land, with near constant tearing as a result. This is punctuated occasionally by larger frame time spikes as well. Subsequent naturalistic areas like Kobo tend to run with more consistent performance, though these also suffer from occasional drops. On a conventionally refreshed panel, I'm not a big fan, but VRR displays cope better with the uneven performance. The PS5 seems to perform similarly enough. Again, expect a relatively consistent resolution mode with some minor drops and bizarre trouble spots, and a performance mode that really struggles to reach 60 FPS in some areas. There's not much performance between the two consoles as far as I can tell, with both exhibiting similar drops in the same spots.
Man, it's just... I'm not a hardware guy. I'm not a software guy. I don't do coding. I don't know how graphics engines work. I'm a dummy, okay? I'm a finance guy. Yeah, anyway, I don't know any of this, but it is shameful that they can't manage this better. Real quick, guys, I made an oopsie. I forgot Nikki has to leave at 1. It is 12:56. She just texted me. So this is going to be a really abrupt end to the stream. I'm terribly sorry. We had like 5 or 6 more things to talk about, and news articles and videos and stuff. I guess we'll hit them maybe tomorrow or Friday. So sorry. I didn't plan this out properly. I'm a professional. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thanks so much for chilling. Thank you to all the new members. Thank you to the donos. Thank you to everybody. You guys are all amazing. I love you dearly. Subscribe, ring the bell, all of that stuff, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm bad at outros, especially when I didn't anticipate them. Anyway, much love. Thanks for chilling with me. I will see you soon. And we'll be back fairly soon. Again, we'll have a members only stream very soon. So if you are not a member, consider that. Then you can hang out with us. Much love, everybody. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.